So, it's been a week since Metal Bat became free. After playing and fighting all the old and new classes, I have decided that it is finally time for the new best tier list for the Strongest Battlegrounds. Stick around to the end to see who is the new best character. So here you can see I have made my own custom tier list for the Strongest Battlegrounds. All characters that have been released since the free Metal Bat update are here. I'd also like to note that I am going to be ranking the characters based on their abilities, their performance in combat, combos, and their potential as a character. Now with all that out of the way, let's get into the tier list. First up, we have Atomic Samurai. Now, obviously Atomic Samurai is not finished, so I'm just going to put him in the not finished tier. Now, based off of his two current moves and what Atomic Samurai can actually do in the manga, I'm going to make a prediction right now and say that Atomic Samurai will probably be in the A tier. The reason I put Atomic Samurai here is because I honestly believe he'll just be a more overpowered version of Sonic with him being a sword character. Atomic Samurai also gets a very powerful buff when he gets a specific blade that I won't spoil, so that'll probably be his ultimate or part of it. But despite all this, Atomic Samurai is not finished as of yet, so he'll just be here for a little bit. Next up we have the newest character, Metal Bat. Oh boy, where do I get started with this guy? Now in base, Metal Bat excels at getting up close with his various gap closing moves. He also has a ranged variant in Foul Ball, which increases the amount of pressure that Metal Bat places on opponents tenfold. Due to this, experienced Metal Bats can be very unpredictable and tricky to fight as of right now. I will also debate that Metal Bat might have the most annoying combo in the game by far, but I think that's just me molding after fighting him so many times now. Now, base Metal Bat is solidified a tier, but in Ultimate, Metal Bat is actually broken. No, literally, I am making a whole new tier just for Metal Bat's Ultimate, and I am separating the two. Metal Bat in his ultimate gets a death counter, which can be activated during the startup of Savage Tornado and Brutal Beatdown, two very powerful moves by the way. Now, this by itself is already overpowered, but you also get a gamble move that completely decimates your health and strength difference. Did I also mention that if you miss your death counter, you can then produce a ground slam similar to Garou's ultimate that can deal up to 50% of damage to your health? I will honestly say that Ultimate Metal Bat by himself is actually the most broken character that we've ever seen in the Strongest Battlegrounds. Next up, we have Deadly Ninja or Sonic. Now, I feel that Sonic deserves to be in the C tier. The only reason that I am putting Sonic here and not any lower is because of the Shuriken buff and Sonic's ultimate. Firstly, let's talk about Sonic's base kit. Sonic's base kit has certainly not aged well besides Shuriken being able to bypass people's blocks, so that leaves 3 blockable moves in the base kit. It's also worth mentioning that players have gotten exceptionally better at figuring out how to counter Sonic, and that is literally to just hold, block. Good luck starting a combo off of Scatter. It's also worth noting that Sonic's best combo got nerfed a while back, so that definitely does not help the character. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that Sonic, like every other finished character in the game, can be very devastating with the 1-2-3-4 combo if you waste your Ragdoll cancel, but even then, why are you wasting Ragdoll cancel on Sonic? Now, let's talk about Sonic's ultimate.
Hello?
就活はやめな。かかってこいよなみたいな悪役を一撃で吹っ飛ばすヒーロー。そうか。究極奥義デュエルト。
Sonic's ultimate is still very powerful. I will even go as far as saying that Sonic's ultimate is top 3 in the game behind Saitama. All of Ultimate Sonic's speedy and lethal moves are still very tricky to deal with, leaving even the most experienced of players in a predicament when going up against him. In spite of this though, it's not enough to bring Sonic's rating as whole above to the B level. Sonic is not that bad of a character to go down to D though, so he will undoubtedly stay in the C tier. For now. Next up, we have Genos. Genos will go in the B tier. I'm sorry Genos players, it seems I was not familiar with your game. After playing with and against Genos, I have come to realize that he is initially better than I thought. A hindrance at range and toting a destructive mini combo describe base Genos perfectly. It's also wise to consider that after every finisher animation, Genos moves reset. This can come in handy when dealing with mobs of enemies or teamers, which is why you see so many people grinding with Genos for that leaderboard spot. Even though base Genos destroys at the long and mid-range, fighting up close can become a problem for even the best of Genos players real quick. This is mainly due to the lack melee options besides his barrage. You can counter this though by keeping players away at a distance until you can close in and destroy them with your 1-2-4 combo, or you can just fight head on if you're him, but I digress. Now, let's talk about Ultimate Genos. The new Ultimate Genos is definitely a force to fight against whether you're solo or in a public server. The new Thunder Kick has definitely helped Ultimate Genos gain the upper hand in battles, being barely escapable if you get the Mist variant. Incinerate is a glass cannon move that can melt if hit up close, Flame Wave Cannon is a satisfying beam, and Speed Blitz Dropkick is that deadly combo starter that we all use on the Ultimate startup. Base Genos' instant cooldown ability transfers to his ultimate as well, but only Speed Blitz Dropkick and Thunder Kick reset to balance the ability out. All in all, Genos has definitely made a resurgence in terms of usage as of recently, and I hope that his spot rises from B to A in the future. Next up, we have a noob's dream and nightmare, Garou the Hero Hunter. Back then, I gave Garou the honor of being the best class in the game, but today I'll be taking him a spot lower and put him at the A tier. Before you start freaking out, let me explain why. Base Garou is still one of, if not the most deadliest close-range classes in the game, and that's a fact. His most deadly moves can guard break you, and they translate into a combo quite easily, leaving people on the receiving end of the combo at a huge disadvantage in combat. He still has no ranged moves, but his Prey Peril buff allows Garou to pull a reverse Uno card on ranged attacks despite it being a little tricky to time correctly. It's still something though. It's also known that Garou has quite possibly the most lethal combos next to Saitama. If you fought a good Garou, then you know once you get caught in that combo your health will be gone instantly. Garou also has a passive ability that lets him regain health on every kill, which is extremely helpful in fights. This ability is also only exclusive to him. Then, we have Garou's ultimate. This might come as a surprise to some people, but Garou's ultimate is the reason I pushed him down a tier. Now, I'm not saying in any way, shape or form that Garou's ultimate is bad. It's just that compared to every other ultimate, Garou has the weakest out of all of them. The problem with Garou's ultimate is that his ultimate is just his base amplified times 100. He doesn't gain an area move like Genos, or a death counter like Metal Bat. He's just a more powerful version of base Garou. It is also very easy to predict and run away from Ultimate Garou, even with Crushed Rock. Just simply backdash and boom. Despite all this, Ultimate Garou's moves are still very powerful, with the final hunt even doing 70% of your health. Melee is Garou's specialty, but it's also the reason why he's so limited, so the A tier it is Garou. Next up we have the Baldy himself, Saitama. Now, after careful consideration and thinking, I will put Saitama at the S tier. There are several reasons for this. Firstly, it is extremely easy to learn Saitama's combos. Now, he does have several advanced combos, but even his most simple combos do unbelievable amounts of damage. Secondly, Saitama gains his ultimate very quickly. Compared to all other characters, Saitama has an insane rate at which he gains his ultimate, as you can see here. Third, Saitama's combo potential is seemingly unbound. If you type in Saitama combo the Strongest Battlegrounds on YouTube, You will find that combos for Saitama are still being uploaded as little over a week ago. Do I need say more? Now, let's talk about his ultimate.
俺は今まで戦った相手を生かして返したことはない。
怪人倒さなきゃヒーロー名乗れねえじゃん。
お前らはどうする？来る方向が分かっていれば正面からまっすぐに狩る。
The only downside of Saitama's ultimate is that you can only use one move at a time. In turn, if an enemy is hit directly with any one of these moves, they will be one-punched. Saitama also has death counter, which is unpredictable as long as you don't reveal that it is activated. Basically, Saitama is the perfect all-around character. I can't really think of any flaws that hinder Saitama as a character. He has not received any notable buffs or nerfs to his kit, and I doubt he will receive any in the near future. The S tier is where I will place Saitama this time. Now we have one more character. I'll just give Gojo his own tier. Here is the best completed tier list for the Strongest Battlegrounds. Let me know if you guys disagree or agree with me in the comments down below. I'll also link the tier list for you all to make your own. See you next time.